Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome back to Hearthstone 4 as we are playing as the French Commune. So some of you may have heard about the big snowstorm we had here in Colorado over the weekend. It started snowing on Friday night and then just continued to snow. And by the end we had gotten a ton of snow for any time of the year, but particularly for this late in May. And because all the trees had all their leaves, that did result in them holding more snow, and thus we had trees just breaking apart all across the city where their branches broke underneath the weight and smashed cars and smashed houses. It was particularly bad in our neighborhood. You can see broken trees all down our street, and our tree specifically broke apart to the point where this big old massive old tree, there's barely any branches left on it. I've got like a huge massive pile of branches that is covering almost my entire front yard at this point because we kind of tried to collect into a pile, but the whole tree fell apart. I don't yet know the extent of the damage. I know that our fence is pretty damaged. Many branches fell on the fence and broken in several places, and we also had branches fall on our roof. And I haven't been able to go up there just yet because it's still kind of wet, so I don't really want to be climbing up on the roof. But I don't know if there's any damage up there. So unfortunately, it was a massive mess, and that was the reason why we didn't have an episode on Tuesday. We're just dealing with all this. It's just, it's one thing after the other. So it's unfortunate. We're trying to get it cleaned up, and hopefully the roof's not damaged, because as you guys know, we are going to be trying to sell our house soon. So now we got to get everything fixed before, everything cleaned, everything fixed before we're able to do that. Got to figure out how I can get rid of all this entire tree, essentially, get it out of my yard, and then I got to fix the fence, and yeah, it's just a real hassle. And it's like the worst possible time it could have happened, since we're going to be looking to sell our house soon. So very unfortunate, but yeah, that's why we didn't have an episode on Tuesday. But yeah, let's go and jump into today's episode. Last video, we defeated the Germans, capitulated them, and now we just have the Italians. Now looking at our current war participation, it's not very high. 25% compared to the 34% of the Soviets, and a lot of what they're getting is from bombing. We haven't really been doing any strategic bombing. So what I've done is I went ahead and set our tactical bombers up to do some strategic bombing. Maybe they might be able to get a little bit of points, probably not, but maybe they can get a little bit of points before the war ends. And I have stopped these troops from moving in the hope that maybe we can bomb over here in Sicily a little bit. Now this battle here might end up winning the war, and I'm going to go ahead and continue it, let this happen. Maybe that won't be enough, and then we can just kind of sit here for a little bit, try and doing some bombing. But at the same time, our allies are also getting points from taking casualties and taking territories. So I don't know if it's even worth it. We'll wait a little bit, kind of hold it off. That does let us take this territory, get these troops wiped out. So yeah, we'll hold off on taking any more territory over here for now, just to try and get a few more points. I really don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But with our troops up here, rather than send them down here and exhaust supply, I've sent them over to our future enemies, because I do expect to attack the Low Countries, or at least the Belgians and the Dutch, since Luxembourg is already in our faction. But yeah, we'll set up for that. That's obviously not going to be happening anytime soon, because we need a period of peace, which, by the way, some of our generals can get these infantry experts, so let's go and get that. Yeah, we need a period of peace, guys, to rest up and fix the equipment issues and design our divisions, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, we'll see if this is enough to win it. And it'll take a while for the Soviets to get down here. Any other territory that's taken would not help defeat the Italians. So yeah, I think it'll be fine, as long as this doesn't end the war here. Now we're also trying to finish up in this territory over here. And all this is occupation, so it does help us to win here. Let's go and attack over this way. See if we can finally take Benghazi. It looks like we should be able to. Excellent. I'll go and attack here as well. Yeah, this is all helping us. It's not worth victory points, but let's move this guy over here, and he can take this over, and that will also help us get some points here. So yeah, just trying to get some points. A little bit more war participation. Try and get higher than 25%. Maybe take some of that war participation from the Soviets. Tick theirs down some, I mean. So as far as what we need here, we got 30 factories going into infantry equipment. I think that's probably adequate. So let's go and put this somewhere else. We'll put this into the, I think, support equipment. That's what we really need. So I'll put that into the support equipment, and we can get an air doctrine. So we'll get air doctrines. We're obviously not going to get the land doctrines, but we can go and get the dive bombing. Air support mission efficiency increased. So with that done, have we won the war? We have not. Alright, so we could just hold off on taking this to try and extend it by a little bit. at least let us finish over here. Also, we'll get points from taking this territory over here, so that's helpful as well. They're moving up that way. What we want to do is let them move and then cut them off. So we can just move over here while we wait. Maybe even get all the way over there. But yeah, just taking any of this territory here helps us. All this is beneficial for us. And yeah, taking this over here, I mean, Benghazi is actually worth some victory points. That's 3 victory points right there. So that'll get us even more points. Let's go ahead and start taking all this. And yeah, just trying our best. Now, given we have allied troops coming over here, so this is going to cause problems. Let's go ahead and have these guys go over here. Yeah, this is going to cause issues because they start pushing it forward. Then yeah, we'll have to do it ourselves. We can go ahead and start attacking over here, so let's go and do so. Take any territory we can. Attack right there as well. And we're also trying to attack right here. Alright, so any effort we can to occupy territory, even taking casualties helps. It just sucks because it does look like Soviets are going to be able to do whatever they want. They will have more points than us. We did tick down their percentage though, I think. Weren't they at 34%? And now at 33%? So yeah, we're doing something here. And you see we have gotten some points from bombing as well. So yeah, we're actually bombing here. We could even try bombing in Greece to try and get some points that way. I'm just worried we did all this effort and we're just not going to get as much as we should get. And it does look like they're attacking here, but they're not going to win. And remember, we only need to take like 1 or 2 provinces, and then it'll be over. We did get the investment into China, which is the last one over here. So we can go ahead and get either the military factories or the colonial industry. Since we're about to end this war, let's go with the colonial industry first, so we can get that last research slot there. I think that'd be really helpful for us. But yeah, this is all getting us points here, guys. So we'll go up this way next. We'll go and attack here as well. We'll support that attack, and then let's go and attack these guys just to lock them down so they can't go any further over here. Let's make sure this guy goes over here as well. Yeah, just see if we can't step the points up a little bit. And you know, if they keep attacking here, that means they never get to restore their organization there. We're also sinking more ships. That's a battleship and a heavy cruiser sunk. I suppose that's a negative because, you know, they would end up being a subject if they get puppeted or whatever, and then those ships would have been on our side. So I suppose that's a negative. But you can see we have increased our war participation up to 26%. The Soviets are down to 32%. So it's definitely helping, guys. We're getting there. We could try bombing the Greeks with the old bombers that we have. We have some old tactical bombers over here. So let's go and do that. Get them up to 50 here. And then we'll do some strategic bombing of the Greeks, which might also help us get some points, guys. Just try and get those bombing points, because I think that's where the majority of the Soviet points came from, is just bombing, which really doesn't seem like they should get those points. That much anyway. I mean, if you look at it, just look at the Soviets here. That's almost all the points they got was from bombing. 590. Only 221 from occupation compared to our 584. And then 34 from casualties compared to our 18. So yeah, I think it'd be worth it, guys, to do a little bit of bombing, to spend that time. I know that they're getting points as well when they take these casualties here, so there is that. But the bombing points, I think, will go up faster. And then plus we're doing this here. And then we also have the situation over here, which looks like that guy got stopped. So we're going to need to take this one first and then attack him over there. Yeah, we're taking territory. We're sinking ships. And we're bombing. So all this is helping us. And just about done over here as well. What we can do is go ahead and start setting up for the future war against the British. So I'm going to set these guys up over here, take them, set them up. Well, we'll probably want them in their own front. Maybe not. In their own army, I meant. Maybe just put them over here into this army. Might be the better way to do it. And then go ahead and set this up like so. And then not all of these troops will go over to this front. Some will go over to Syria. And then some of them, for now, they can go over there. But some of them will come over here to the rest of Africa as well. We want to finish this war before we move them, though, because obviously we don't control the seas. So I don't know if this unit will be enough to get that done. Make sure that nobody's advancing over here. They're not. And we're not going to accept that because war is already almost over, so no reason to. We do have more military factories. Another good thing about continuing the war is that it gives us more time to use the military factories and civilian factories of our enemies here, the Germans and the Italians, because if we don't annex all this territory, which I don't intend to annex everything, then that'll all be taken from us. So that's another advantage of us just waiting here. But yeah, we just need to get these points up. We're already at 27%, guys, so you can see it's making a difference. I'd really like to get us to the point where we'll have more war participation than the Soviets. I don't know if we'll be able to make that happen. That's a 5% difference right now. Probably not going to happen, guys. There's really not a whole lot left to do, and I think that's it. So something happened where they lost that territory, so we got it as high as we could. And you can see that the first thing the Soviets did is they puppeted Portugal. Right, interesting, and they've made some moves in Africa. Okay, so we're going to have to puppet the Germans and the Italians early on so that the Soviets can't do it. So let's make sure we puppet both of them. The Greeks, we could puppet them as well. I almost want to let the Soviets do the Hungarians. And I don't really care what happens to Greece. I kind of want the Turks to take that. So we will not puppet Greece. Just the Germans and Italians. I mean, that's where the majority of our work was done. But yeah, it just kind of sucks that the Soviets did almost nothing to win this war. We defeated the Germans. We defeated the Italians. Even if it was partially because the Germans weren't properly defending their territory, we did the most to defeat both countries here, and we just don't have the points to indicate that. But I don't know if you guys have heard, they are redoing the peace treaty system in the next major patch. So I'm really excited for that. This has been one of my major issues with the game for a long time, is the peace treaty system. I'm shocked with as bad as this system is that it's taken them this long to fix it. Remember, this game came out over 6 years ago. Or I guess it's been, next month will be 6 years actually. So it's been out for a very long time, and they're just now fixing this horrible system. So I don't really think that's excusable, that it's taken them this long to fix it, such an important part of the game. So that's unfortunate, but we can be happy about the fact that they're finally fixing it 6 years later. But yeah, let's go and start getting some territory taken. So I already know that I want to go ahead and annex Sardinia and all of Libya. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take over all that. As far as any colonial territory, it's really just the Portuguese that have colonial territory. The Italians, they have Ethiopia. I suppose we could take that. I don't know if it's worth the points you got to spend here. Yeah, I really feel like it might not be worth the points we have to spend there, and I almost feel like it'd be better to release them. You could satellite them. It's only 30 points. It's cheaper than annexing it, which again, I'm not really interested in annexing it. That does leave the situation here. These would be two separate countries. I don't really want to do that. I think what we'll end up doing is like maybe giving that to Ethiopia, and maybe even that, or taking it for ourselves. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if the Soviets satellite them. I'm not going to do that, though. We'll only satellite Ethiopia, because I'd prefer to have a strong Ethiopia that has more territory. Even if this is not core territory, they can still use it. But I prefer that. I think that's all we're going to do here in the colonial territory. And let me take a look and see if this has been annexed yet. So yeah, this has already gone to Portugal, so we can't take the Azores. And then their territory over here, same deal. Just kind of look at all there. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can do anything with it, except for India. Okay, that's interesting. So we can't take that one little spot here in India. I don't think we're going to do that, though. I don't think that's necessary. It might just cause conflict with that faction. And we already have territory over here if we wanted to invade from there. I guess it's only 3 points. Yeah, whatever. It's only 3 points, guys. We'll go ahead and take that then. And I think that's it. I think that's all we want to do colonial-wise. So now we can just go ahead and annex any territory we want to in Europe, which we're going to annex this territory here, and then probably, I don't know what we're going to do with the rest of the north here. Maybe give it to Austria or something if we release them. Oh, we can't even annex what I have here. So that alone, 105 points, was too much. So we can't do hardly anything. And it just shows how bad our points are right now. All right, well, if we wanted to satellite anybody, then now would be the time to do it. The 101 points to do Austria, I did want to do them. but that's not going to be an option. Let me just see how many points we're not able to spend here. So we couldn't do that. That's 24. All right, so we really don't have that many points even remaining at this point. Yeah, we don't have 23 points. So yeah, there's not a whole lot we'd be able to do regardless, even if there was some cheaper options for us. Just wondering if there's anything I'm missing Africa-wise. So these obviously are too expensive to even be worthy of taking. Not right now. So yeah, we're not going to do that. All right, so I guess we're going to end our turn here. That's all we got to do, guys. So let's go and end our turn. At the very least, we don't have to worry about the Soviets, puppeting the Italians or the Germans. They did satellite Austria. Okay, well that's fine. All right, so they created a bunch of satellites. I see. They also annexed a little bit of territory. They took this here for themselves, and it looks like they also took that for themselves too. Okay, I'm all right with all that, I suppose. Let's go ahead and take this. As we know, we want to annex that territory, just increase the size of France. Somebody asked me a couple videos ago if we could break up Germany the way that we were able to do in that last French campaign when we were doing the Napoleon campaign. If we could break them up into a bunch of different states, Holy Roman Empire style, we cannot. And that's what I told him as well, that I thought that was based on that particular focus, that focus is what added all of the tags here so you could break it up. And that is the case. You can't just break it up. But yeah, he was thinking that you could do it. But that is not a possibility. We cannot break Germany up like that. But we can annex their territory, which is what I'm thinking we're going to do. Annex at least a little bit of it, and then have like a really weaker Germany here. And I'm thinking, we want it to look nice when we take all this. But yeah, we just don't have enough points. But this is what I'm thinking we'll take. This here, all up along this way, and then the rest of this here would go to Austria, and then Germany would kind of be like this here, is what I'm thinking. But I don't know how much we'll be able to do of that because of our lack of points, and we can't even take this. Yeah, you can't even take that. We're going to need to pass, essentially. But I did want to give the Italians and Germans some territory, so we're going to start working on that, I suppose, so that it doesn't get too messed up, because I assume what's going to happen is that the Soviets are going to keep taking territory. So we can just give them... Can't give them that one. I can give them this one and this one. What about this? Nope, can't give them that one. Alright, so we can give the Italians this territory. We can see if the Germans have anything cheap to add here. Probably not. Well, there you go. Got the 12 pointers there. Alright, so we were able to give them a little bit of something here. Let's go and end our turn and see what the Soviets do. So, yeah, they're continuing taking territory. So they took this here. And they took some more territory in Africa. We're going to need to pass. We just don't have enough points. Alright, so now that we pass, we should be able to start annexing this territory for ourselves, hopefully. No. We can only get the one. We can get these two, I suppose. Let's just pass again. They might not be interested in doing anything more at this point. Or they can't because we have more points than them. And we haven't spent them yet. Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. So we now have a bunch of points. Let me see if this will allow us to take all this territory that I want. Can't get it all. So what if we just passed one more time? Because it seems like they can't do anything because I keep passing. And I'd prefer that it stay that way. Now, another thing to consider... Alright, so there's Silesia. They're satelliting them. Is the fact that we are occupying all this territory, so it's very expensive for the Soviets to do anything here. Yeah, I really want to get this annexed here. So let's try. Looks like we can get all that. We can get this one as well. So I'm thinking... Could take... Because this is not Austrian, and I want the Austrians to have all their territory. I might take that territory. I might just go like this. Of course, obviously, right now we don't have the points to do all that just yet. We can get this one here. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking we're going to do, guys. As far as Italians, I might just give them their territory here. Could give this to Austria, too. They used to own it. It's not core territory for them anymore. But that'd be an option, I suppose. Yeah, we're definitely going to take all that. I'm just looking to see if there's any other territory that we specifically want ourselves. We could take over this here. Take over the island of Crete so that we have another island here to bomb from. Yeah, I think we will go ahead and take Crete over. That's ours now. I've declared it. So is there anything else that we want? We can take a look at Africa. I think that's all been dealt with. Yeah, the Soviets already dealt with Africa. That's surprising. All right, so I think that's going to be it, unless we can take some territory for our German or Italian allies over here. So we'll try and see if there's anything for them. Looks like we can. We can get them a couple territories here. Let's just go ahead and take this territory for the Italians, since we know we want to get them at least this and up to here as well. We can't get that one, though. Let's take a look at the Germans, see if there's anything else to get them. There's a 20-pointer there, but they just can't. We can't afford it right now. All right, so I guess that's it then. Let's go ahead and end our turn. We'll see what the Soviets did. They take Slovenia. And they puppeted the Hungarians. Okay, that's what I wanted them to do there. But yeah, they continue to take territory here. I guess they'll take that one next. So what we're going to want to do is probably make sure that, all this territory goes back to Austria. I don't want them annexing this. But I also don't want to waste my points giving territory to the Austrians either. But it looks like we got to cut them off here to stop them from taking any further territory. So we'll make Austria. It would be extremely expensive to give the Austrians this territory, so that might not be an option, guys. Let's go ahead and finish up the Italians. So we can't. Okay, so we don't have enough points for that. How about giving the Germans a bit more territory? They did free them there, so Germany's going to be broken up a little bit, but not much. Yeah, it looks like that's all we're going to have the points to do here, guys, unfortunately. So it's really just the Austrians. That's all we were able to do. Yeah, it's a bummer, because I really didn't even want to waste my points on that, honestly. But yeah, let's go ahead and end turn. So they satellited the Kingdom of Roman in North Transylvania. So they're further breaking down the Hungarian territory. Okay. Let's go ahead and finish the Italians now. Actually, you know what? Let's pass. All right, so that gave them time to take that one territory of Zara, and they give more territory to the Hungarians. And now you got the Poland, Romania got to act. Okay, so they took Memo over. All right, so they're taking some territory over. All right, let's go ahead and now start taking some territory. Let's take this for Germany, so we can cut off any more movement of these countries here. And then let's go ahead and finish up the Italians over here. Again, I'm not entirely sure who I'm going to give this to just yet. We'll wait and see how things go point-wise. As far as the territory we're annexing, though, yeah, I think it's kind of weird if you let the Germans have all this. And just really annex a lot of German territory. We're more like the Franks now than the French. So we're going to annex all this and then just give the Germans this. That's the plan, guys. So I don't know how much we're able to do right now. We did pass a lot, so it looks like we were able to do all of it. All right, so all this has been dealt with. So now you just have this territory here, and then the Greeks, which, if nobody's puppeted the Greeks yet, I could see doing that, though I did want to give the Turks some more territory. They fought hard in this war, so let's go and give them some of this territory. Because as of right now, they're not slated to get anything. So we're going to give them both of these here. And I could even see giving them a little bit of territory. We can even let them annex the Greeks, actually. Why not? Why not just let the Turks annex the Greeks? Yeah, I think that looks nice. Let's do that. All right, so that's all been done. Now it's just this territory here, which, again, is far too expensive to give to the Austrians. Yeah, that's not really going to be an option, I don't think. I believe what we're going to have to do is either give it to the Italians or annex it ourselves, which obviously annexing it ourselves would make the map look weird. I just feel like it'd look nicer if the Austrians had it. But again, it's just too expensive. The only thing we have to worry about is if we pass the Soviets take that territory. Like, annex it. Which they could do. Alright, let's just go ahead and end our turn. I'm just kind of hoping that they don't do anything there. There's nothing else to be dealt with but that territory. So maybe they won't be interested. And then we can go ahead and give it to the Austrians. How many points do we need? Let's see here. So we'd need 734. And we can already do that one, which would stop them from taking this one here because it would be isolated. Yeah, I think we're going to give it to the Austrians. Why not? I think it looks better. We give it to them than the Italians. And plus, I want to penalize the Italians as much as possible. But even though they're our subject now, because I'm irritated at them. But yeah, the Austrians used to hold Venice. So let's give it back to them. They held it at 1 point, I should say. So we'll give them that, and then we'll give them this one too. Yeah, I believe that's everything. All right, so let's go ahead and end our turn. And that's it. That's the peace treaty. All right, so let's take a look and see how the map looks. This is a very large Austrian-Soviet republic here, or pretty large for Austria anyways. You have the Italians here, which have been stripped of much of northern Italy. They have a little bit of states here, of course, but they have been stripped of quite a bit of their territory. Also lost Sardinia, and they lost Libya as well. You've got a larger Turkey now, Turkish Socialist Republic here, taking over all of Greece. Here's kind of a mess. Here you got the Hungarians. They lost some of their territory. You instead have this Romanian People's Republic here. And Kingdom of Poland, Romania took some territory too. A complete mess over here. Germany lost this territory. I would have preferred that they had kept that. I think it would look nicer if they'd annexed that there. But you know, the Soviets released them, subjugated them. So this is what you got left of Germany. Germany is very much penalized for their actions in the war. We sunk 2 German subs right there. And then, of course, we have the colonial territory. We regained back all of our territory here. Let's go ahead and get these guys set up back where they were located. Come over here. And then we're going to want to bring more troops over to that front as well. Which army is this? Okay, so it's like a little purple army over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a few of these because I don't think this is going to be necessary to have this many over here. I don't think it's probably like 5 over there. And then I think you need 1 more over here to cover all this territory. Yeah, you need 5 over there to cover the entire thing. So what we could do is just going to take 1 division, bring him over here. I'm actually tempted to have 1 more over there. Get them up to 6. So essentially I think that leaves us 3 divisions. We're going to take these 3, get them going over to Benghazi. And then from there, we'll have them go to another part of Africa, I suppose. We need to get all these troops moving, don't we? So let's go and get them out of there. So we'll have this army here. Let me see. What is the other army here? This is that red army. All right. So we'll just have these guys come to Paris for now. Let me make sure they don't have any fronts. They shouldn't. But let's just go and delete any possible orders they might have. So we're going to take the whole red army, have them take the trains over to Paris. And then we got this purple army here, and they're going to be going... Make sure they get rid of all their fronts, and then they're going to be coming over to this front line here. All right, excellent. All right, so there's going to be a bunch of stuff we have to take care of. We have our operatives. We need to get assigned. We already have 1 operative over here in England. We should also place an operative probably over here, one of these countries that we're going to declare war on, I suppose, on the Dutch. Could also do the Belgians, but the one issue here is that let me see where the other guy is. Okay, he's in Japan. Should probably keep him there. But yeah, the one issue here is that I could see us needing to do some root out resistance in this territory. Yeah, I think it might be imperative that we do this. So let's go and do so. We'll do it. We need the one that's going to touch the most states and have the biggest effect. So this one here is going to affect all these regions. Yeah, I think like this one here might be the most useful because it gets Munich. Yeah, let's go and do this one, guys. It'll affect all the states around it. And then we have some decisions available. Let's go and take a look. See if any of these are things we want to do. These are just with our subjects. Okay, so we don't need to do any of those. We can go and speed up to speed 5 now. Oh yeah, we need to pull back all of our ships. We're not at war anymore. So there's no reason to have any of these guys doing these orders. So let's just go and take them all. Send them over here for now. And take all these guys off their orders, which means we will not have the fuel issues that we're currently facing. We'll send them all over to here. And then we can go and have, I mean, they can't even do the mining anymore. So they shouldn't even be using any fuel because they can't do that mission. All right, so we can go and pull back on all these, get them, we'll probably just expand this one here. And just get them moving back to France. Take them off their orders. I believe this is all the planes we had. That's how bad it was. We barely had any planes. All Alright, so I think that's everybody. So that should result in us really starting to build up the fuel reserves now. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like, see if we want to make any adjustments. But as of right now, we just have the Green Army set to invade here. Our big problem right now is trying to get the equipment situation dealt with. I most definitely want to make sure that we don't start a war, you know, with a little country that could end up developing into a much larger conflict when we're not yet ready to do that. So let's make sure we don't start any wars until we're entirely ready to be fighting a full conflict, just in case that ends up happening. So let's go for the improved radar over here. Since we have a bunch of alerts up here. Who are we currently decrypting? We're currently decrypting the British. Okay. We won't need the decryption on the Italians or the Germans. Could have used those at the last minute, I suppose. We got some more decisions that are available. One of them's demobilized in the economy. Yeah, that's not something I want to do here, but if we don't, then we start getting the strikes. So that's unfortunate. What does it require us to change back to? You don't have to go all the way back to civilian economy, do you? I'm not entirely sure, because it's based on the war support. So to be on war economy, you have to have at least 50% war support. So you could try and increase it with the war propaganda, but yeah, this is obviously not going to be done in 111 days. I just know I don't want to go all the way back to civilian economy, and I really don't think it'd be necessary to go that far back, as long as your war support's, you know, high enough. I'm not entirely sure what you have to have it at, though. What I'm expecting is that it's based on the war support here. So this gives us all the way back to civilian economy. I wonder if we can get the war support to 15% and then just go to early mobilization instead. So I think that's the plan, guys. Let's not go all the way back to civilian economy. So we're going to hold out on doing that for as long as we possibly can. I guess we'll let it stick up there just so I know that it's a problem. Developing oil fields would be really nice. So yeah, I'd like to do that. But we're not going to be able to do it just yet, guys. I guess we can leave it checked here for now. But first we got to deal with the war support issue. So we're going to hold on to that. We don't need to do this, though. Alright, so we just got to remember that, you know, we have things here that are notifying us. We have exile divisions. Where the hell are the exile divisions? I'm not seeing. Oh, this guy. Somehow he got in his territory. I see. Alright, so he's coming out of that territory now. Looks like Germany's justifying on us. Around the Maginot. Okay. So they shouldn't be able to declare war on anybody because they're subjects, so that shouldn't be a problem. But that would have them attacking them here when we're not quite ready to do that. And also, I'm really not trying to start the larger conflict at this moment. Though, I don't know who would guarantee them besides the Americans. Which they probably aren't even able to do that yet. So I don't think it's a concern attacking them. There's always a concern, though, that the British might want to get involved if we attack the Low Countries. And I'm not ready to fight the British yet. Now, I think the British would mostly be a naval air conflict because, of course, they're, you know, an island nation. This is also going to result in those non-aggression pacts getting canceled with the Canadian faction, the Commonwealth of Nations. And you have a war here in India. So this could end up starting a conflict. That's a real possibility here. Because they're supposed to be going communist. So there is no faction over there. So we'll see if anybody joins factions. With no other larger wars going on, it shouldn't be an issue. We'll just have to keep our eye on it. Yeah, definitely want some time to fix all of our issues. Also, we should go ahead and start really focusing on dockyards and factories here. I think we're going to start moving a little bit towards some dockyards. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get a few dockyards here, guys. And then it's going to be a bunch of military factories. We don't even have... Well, we have 3 lines of military factories, but once we change up our economy, we won't have... I don't even think... We might not even have 2 full lines. We'll have to see, but I could see us having to build some more civilian factories as well. I think that might be a real possibility. But for now, let's just focus on the military factories. As long as we have our current economy. And let's just hope that we can avoid this issue here. 84 days. We just need to get 150 political power to be able to do the war propaganda. And Shanxi has capitulated. I forgot there is a war actually ongoing right now. Japan is still invading China. And it looks like they've been having some success here. They've been fighting for a while now. Don't think they started the naval invasions just yet. And the Indian People's Republic was annexed, so India won that. So there will not be a communist India. Communist India lost that. Remember, the Australians are also going communist, so we'll see what happens there. New Zealand is staying democratic. Soviet Union is planning on attacking Latvia. So, you know, the war could start any moment. We'll just have to see what happens, guys. We're not justifying here just yet because of the lack of political power. We have other things we need to use that political power for. But all this is allowing us to get the equipment situation dealt with. In fact, we already now have enough infantry equipment. So let's go and pull back on the amount of factories we have over here, because we have a lot. That's a lot of factories going towards infantry equipment, and we have a ton of stuff we need. Also, we lost all those factories too. So that's another thing to consider, is that we lost all those factories and dockyards that we once had. So let's go and change this up a little bit. Try and get these finished up. They're very close to being done here. But we've been building those the entire game. I did not expect it to go down that way. So let's go ahead and pull back a bit more on the infantry equipment, because we do need so much other stuff here. Let's go all the way up to 10 factories there if we can. And maybe pull back. Well, we really don't want to pull back on the planes. We already have a very small air force as it is. So let's pull those back. Next factory will go into the artillery and the trucks. We also need more tanks as well. We need a ton of stuff. We can further pull back on infantry equipment though soon as we build this up. But yeah, we want to go ahead and start making adjustments to our division design soon. Now we got that colonial industry. That's going to get us a ton of civilian factories. Let's go after the research slot next. And then from there we'll go out to the military factories, which is going to be 14 military factories. So very helpful. Yeah, it's going to be a huge increase for us. But yeah, now that we have the extra civilian factories building, you can see that we have a full 4 lines building, plus an additional 3 factories there. But we are about to lose those soon. Very soon. But let's go ahead and get some more stuff building. And we'll continue focusing on our own 80% locations while we can. Yeah, just really work on these military factories for now. As well as those 1-2 dockyards. I suppose we can go and set up one more dockyard to build. And yeah, just try and get the equipment situation dealt with. So we can now enact the war propaganda. So let's go ahead and do that to increase the war support. It's already at 17% though. I wonder if we can get it up to above 25%. Because the reason why this is actually going up is because of the trade convoys being rated modifier. That's 26%. So war support could end up being kind of high. But let's go and enact this anyways. Because yeah, we gotta get this higher, guys. So as of right now, I don't think we'll get it up to 50%, not in 54 days. And what's really good, it looks like it puts you, for only 50 political power, I was thinking we're going to have to spend a whole 150 political power, but it puts you essentially the highest you can be at based on your war support. So as of right now, that'd be early mobilization, which is what I was planning on. But maybe, let me see how fast this is. This is 1% per week. We might be able to get it up to 25%. That would require 8 weeks, plus this is being ticked down by 0.3% per week. So yeah, I think we will be able to get this done. So that would then instead result in us being on the, these are all the wrong ones, on the partial mobilization. So that'd be pretty good. And then we just have to keep war support above 25%. Yeah, I think that'd be good for us. I'd love to be able to stay on the war economy, but I just don't think we'll get war support up high enough in time. The British have finally declared war on somebody. They're invading Ireland. All right, so that's clearly what they're working on, their focus tree. They're working on those focuses that lead them to war with Ireland. I would get the military police. That'd be helpful. So we'll have less equipment going to the garrisons. Also, I can take a look, see how many of those garrison tanks we have, see if we're ready to add those. We're going to keep on working on stuff in here because we've got a bunch of stuff we need to get on the support equipment. We also have a free dockyard. Let's go ahead and put this into, we need to design ships. We could go ahead and put the ships out there to train. I wanted to get the fuel dealt with first. But yeah, we have a little bit of naval experience if we want to go ahead and like design something. Let me just take a look at what our equipment situation is to see which ships we might want to use. So with the destroyers, you know, we have the 1936 model. We're missing a lot of the equipment for them. Battleships, we have the 1936 model, but again, lacking like the new guns and stuff for them. What about submarines? We have the 1936 model. That's pretty much all you need. Okay, so submarines is what we should be building, which we need to replace all the submarines we lost. So it makes sense. We can go and decommission a lot of these here. We have cruiser subs. And cruiser subs, I think, are better than the 1936 subs. So you might want to use those instead of the 1936 subs, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that, guys. This does require us to add more and use more experience, but that's fine. So we want... Can't put the aircraft facilities there. Let me just take a look and see what all we can get here. So these are fuel tanks. That's just going to increase the range. Probably not necessary. We don't want mine warfare. Might just do more torpedo tubes here. And then we can get the one level of radar here. I suppose we will do one float plane catapult. It really does help with that surface detection. So let's go ahead and do that, guys. And then we'll get another torpedo room here to get that torpedo attack up. Yeah, I think this looks good. Let's go ahead and do historical submarines, and then we'll do... You know, I suppose we can do these one cruiser subs. Cruiser subs A. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so let's go ahead and save that. And go ahead and get these built. Put them right above here, and then we'll want to have them deployed. I suppose I can deploy here, it's fine. We'll deploy these both over here as well, once they get done. And yeah, just any new factories you get will go into, or excuse me, dockyards will go into this. Into the cruiser submarines. So let me just take a look at the equipment situation. Infantry equipment's looking pretty good. Let's go and start making some adjustments. Oh yes, I did forget about those tanks. We need to see how many we have done. We don't have any currently stored. Do we not have any factories going into that right now? We have one. Why do we not have any of those? Oh, you know what, guys? The design here is off. My bad, guys. I messed this up when I did the design. What we need to do is change these up, their icon. That's what the problem is here. We want to have them just set up to only be used... to not be used in the regular divisions and only be used in the garrison divisions. So when we go take a look at our tanks here, they'll only use this equipment now. So that's what was going on. I was wondering why we weren't stockpiling any tanks. That's what the issue was. So this should get pulled out of there. And I don't know if they'll get pulled out of the divisions that are already using them. They should. Ireland was just annexed. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if they pull them out or not. But you'd think they would. They would eventually pull them out once they got the new tanks built. But yeah, that's what the issue was. I was wondering what was going on there. Alright, so just waiting to get to this 50 little power here and just see where we're at. I think we will be able to get it up to 25%, guys. And again, all those countries in that one faction are going to end the non-aggression pact we have. It's no longer necessary. We got the infantry equipment. Excellent. Let's go ahead and probably continue getting these for the 1940 passive bonuses. We also need to get that. You know what? We'll get that first. Let's see, when's this done? This is done in 20 days, so we'll switch them up then at that point. Let's go for the improved infantry equipment too. And let's go ahead and change up our infantry equipment so we can get the level 2s building. See what we've got here. Yeah, just that. And these here. Got it. Alright, so we are at the 50 political power, but we're not at the 25% war support right now. So we're just going to have to watch this. Soviet Union just declared war on Latvia. Okay, so that should hopefully be a quick conflict. We are not going to join that conflict, though. Finland rejects Soviet demand, so it looks like the Soviets are not going to have a very long period of peace where they're already starting conflicts. And Latvia just joined the Commonwealth of Nations. Oh, that's what I was hoping would not happen here, guys. So now we're at war with the Commonwealth of Nations, which includes Poland and Romania. So if we were to join that war, as far as what that might involve, what it would entail, we have this front here that we have to defend, I guess, you know, because we're just looking at trying to defend our own subject states. Just this. But yeah, if we want to defend all the territory up around here, that'd be one thing we'd have to consider. To defend against Poland and Romania. And then South Africa, you know, they can attack into Soviet territory here, and then they're subject there. But they cannot get into any of our territory. Not yet, anyways. Canada, that doesn't really affect anything. They could attack our island here, I suppose. And then Australia, they could end up attacking our territory in Indochina. That's a real possibility as well. But they're not in a faction anymore. Okay, so they're not in the faction. What about India? I think they left too. Okay, so let's just take a look, see who's all in the Commonwealth of Nations. We know Poland, Romania, and Canada are, and then Latvia is as well. Okay, so maybe this conflict will end. Well, I guess it can't, because Canada is the leader, isn't it? I was going to say maybe this faction will be defeated quickly, but yeah, that will not happen because Canada has to be defeated. Because the issue that's going to be caused here is if we attack the Dutch or the Belgians, then they'll join that faction, which then causes issues when it comes to war support. So I was kind of hoping for that to be its own separate conflict. So yeah, overall, not a good situation. That's not what I wanted to have happen here. Let's continue fixing the shortages that we have. And they'll probably attack all these countries as well. Yeah, they'll attack all of them. And we're just going to ignore these calls to support the war for now. Just not interested in being in the war, though. I suppose one thing I didn't consider, though, is if we do join the war, then it stops us from losing war economy. I suppose that would be worth it, guys, to be able to stay on war economy. So we'll go and join the conflict and just hope the British don't join the overall war. Yeah, I guess we'll do this just so we can stay on the war economy. So we'll avoid that. And I'm glad it happened now, and I realized that. So let's go and join the conflict. And then we'll have to bring some troops over here to support that. Let's see how we want to do that. We don't need all these armies over here. Let me just see. We might want to take some of these and put them onto this purple front. Get them all the way up to the full 5 divisions. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, and it looks like we have some... Oh, did I put these guys in the wrong purple army? The ones I put over here, I did. Alright, so these guys need to go into this purple army. My bad. And then we'll bring them over here. Bring them over to port. I guess the closest port is actually over here. So we can send those guys back to Africa. So that means we need 8 of these divisions. Alright, so that leaves these 10 defensive divisions that we'll put over here. I don't think we'll be able to cover the entire front. I was just going to defend our allies, our puppets' territory here. So we might want to take a few of these divisions then and move them over there. You just kind of make sure we have 1 in each province, which I suppose would be a lot of provinces, wouldn't it? It's 1, 2, yeah, we might have to have full army over here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, so we might just want to take like all the troops we had that we pulled off over there. And then get them moving over to this, back over to this army here. Get them back up to 17 total divisions. So there'll be 1 province that isn't covered. Might want to pull 1 more division off over here then. Go ahead and get rid of this front. Because yeah, I suppose we'd attack the Dutch first. That's why we're doing it this way. Alright, so we've been pulled into the war, so we no longer have to worry about the demobilization of the economy. That's no longer a problem. So let's go and get the oil, because we know that we have such oil issues. So I think this would be worth getting, spending the political power for. Alright, so we'll help out in this conflict on defense anyway. I don't know that we'll be spending much when it comes to the offensive. We are getting offers from Lend-Lease, though, so we'll accept these. Though by accepting the Germans, that did, do we want to pull in the Italians? I suppose we can pull in the Italians. But that will tick up their autonomy some, so that's one unfortunate part of it. So, yeah, we'll just let everybody join if they ask. I don't really have any reason not to pull them in. Let's go and make some adjustments to our division designs now, since we are able to do so. So over here, we currently have the support artillery and the engineer companies. We don't have enough guns to give them artillery just yet, but what we can do is go ahead and give them another infantry unit. Though I don't know if we want it. We'll probably just put it here. So give them 1 more infantry unit. As far as how large this is going to be, this was supposed to be a larger division design. I don't know if we're going to want to do that now, though. We got to get the manpower laws changed as well, so that's got to get done. Because we don't have much manpower for building units. As far as recon, let's get the cav recon. I don't know if we're going to keep the support artillery yet over here. For now we will, but eventually we might replace that and just get regular artillery lines. Maybe I was going to make that adjustment for now. Over here, we need tanks and trucks. I suppose we're going to add one more light tank model here for now. Just kind of slowly increase their size. These guys are already good to go. You just need to give them support companies. So let's go ahead and give them engineer. And maybe also do the recon. Let's just save this for now. Alright, so that's going to result in us needing a lot more support equipment. I suppose we can pull back on our infantry equipment production now. So we can really pump into the support equipment, the trucks, and the tanks. Finland joined the Commonwealth of Nations. Okay. So that's not surprising that they declared war there. We'll pull Germany into this. So that was why they weren't able to invade over here. It's because Germany wasn't yet pulled in. We will do any attacks that are, undefended. There's really no reason not to do that. But we're not going to help out much in this, guys. I say that now. Watch us end up helping out a bunch. We got the improved radar over here. All right, excellent. So we'll want to get that added to those cruiser subs. And then let's go and get the improved computing machines. But yeah, let's go and get the subs changed up first before we do anything else over here. Although, I don't think we built any. Well, we have the one building, so we'll have to change them to B. And then give them the better radar over here. Alright, so we'll get those building immediately as soon as they're done over here. Just get that first one constructed, and we only want one of those. We're about to get this here heavy cruiser, 21st of February. We'll get that done, and then we'll start some training up again once we get the fuel fully stockpiled there. All right, so just looking for areas where we can do anything without having to fight too hard. Okay, so this is what we might want to do. Just to try and get behind these guys here. It looks like we got there just in time. So yeah, we will do stuff like this where we can easily wipe out a division. I think that's worth it. If we can hold out there, I guess that's the big question. I don't know that we can hold out over there. So we'll see if we can't make that happen. Get our troops over there to defend in time. What we could do also is attack here. Just kind of help out on that defense. It looks like this guy should get there in time. Ah, damn it. Alright, so that's unfortunate. That's not the way I wanted that to go down, so let's go and pull this back because we actually don't want to defeat those troops now. Yeah, that's a bummer that that went down that way. Alright, so we're going to try and take this back, guys. We just didn't get there in time, unfortunately. We also lost here because of that action. Well, we're not going to accept any more Lend-Lease from our subjects, guys. I don't want to worry about their autonomy. I don't have to be watching it. So yeah, again, we're not going to help out much here. I'm not going to use my Air Force here, guys, because we really need to conserve those. I feel. Conserve our planes for the war with the British because we do not have much of an Air Force at this point. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to win here, guys. Alright, so let's go and stop it then. We'll maybe do it a little bit later. Also, we don't have a planning bonus. That would help. And it looks like Poland, Romania is pushing forward into Soviet territory. Yeah, I don't think the Soviets are ready for this larger conflict here. Yeah, I mean, I guess this gives us the time, though, here, guys. Gives us a bit of time to get this war done before we declare war over here. And, we can just keep on preparing. As long as the British don't join the conflict, everything's fine. That's the only thing I was really worried about. We do have these 3 divisions up here that I wanted to move. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to put... Let's see how we want to do this. We're going to put one more over here. Make sure that all this here is defended. We have 2 there because that's really important. We also have 2 over here. We might want to put more to kind of hold out there a little bit better. And I don't think we have a port right there. Yeah, I don't think we can get over there. Alright, so we might want to move more troops over here. Holding the Caribbean's not all that important, though. I could see letting the English have that. Alright, so we have one coming over there. We're going to need some over here as well, and some right here. Frankly, we don't have enough of these colonial troops, so we'll need to build more or pull them back from other locations. Now, I'm seeing here, we actually do have these 2 regular divisions here. I must have changed those up or accidentally sent them over here. I'm not entirely sure. I think I changed them up, though, because they're that designed, so I didn't realize that these guys just been sitting over the whole time. That would have been nice to have those divisions over here to help us in areas where we desperately needed more divisions. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'd sent those. All right, again, I think I changed them up, actually. All right, so we got the National Research Center. So that's another research slot. And now we can go and get the military factories, which, again, is 14 military factories here. So that's going to be big for us. Very helpful. Let's make sure that we continue to build military factories. Again, just kind of building in the 80% locations. So continue to build up military factories so we can get this equipment situation dealt with. We can go for the radar next, I suppose. I know there's a lot of 1940 techs that are needed. But let's go and finish up here with the engineer. We'll get the next radar station so we can try and get that the gunnery radar for the ships, and then also the advanced radar for the tanks. We need to build radar stations. We might want to start working on that soon. Start building radar stations. That'll be really helpful for the air war and naval war against the British. So getting radar stations, particularly here in the Mediterranean and across the English Channel and the Bay of Biscay, all that would be really, really helpful, I feel. So that's something we should work on. Also, the Japanese are going to attack us eventually. And we don't know what they're working on. But they're going to eventually attack us. Look at them. Wow, they're doing great. All right, so Japan has now started to launch their naval invasions against the Chinese. And with that, looks like China's in deep trouble now. Remember, Japan has been able to focus exclusively on China for a while now, so it's only a matter of time before we'll probably face the Chinese up on our borders here, and then we'll also face naval invasion, so more troops in Indochina will be necessary. And then when we attack the Dutch, there's also the Dutch East Indies. I don't know if we'll be able to do those conflicts, though, since this war started out. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about using the Indochina troops to do naval invasions, because conquering this territory would be super helpful for the resources. That would also give the Japanese another reason to attack us, though, because they'd want all this territory, and I'd like to avoid them attacking us for as long as possible. We know it's eventually going to come, though. So yeah, I don't know, guys. We'll see what happens. I really don't want to do the war with the Dutch, though, until after this one's over. I really don't want this war against them to become a part of this conflict where we won't have as much war participation. But now that I think about it, that might not even be possible because the Canadians aren't going to be defeated anytime soon. Yeah, they are fully fascist now. But yeah, they're not going to be defeated anytime soon, and so therefore, we would never be able to do the wars. So I don't know, guys. We might have to declare war on the Low Countries even while this war is ongoing, and then it'll just be part of this conflict against them. We still have a lot of equipment issues that we're dealing with. Infantry equipment, though, is much better. We're also doing pretty good on artillery, so we could go ahead and start adding artillery to our Red Guard units here. I guess we'll go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to get some artillery here, although I need to figure out which combat width we want here. Whether we're going to want to build a larger division this late in the game, or if we just want to have the smaller division design, in which case we might maybe just put it at 24 and then replace one of these and maybe get some anti-tanks or whatever. Because I imagine the English will have some tanks. Japanese don't use a lot of tanks either, though, so I don't know how useful anti-tanks will be actually. Maybe we'll do anti-air instead. Because neither the British or the Japanese use large amounts of big tanks. So maybe instead of anti-tanks, we'll do anti-air, perhaps, and that provides some penetration and hard attack. Yeah, maybe we'll do that instead. But yeah, I don't know if I want that Red Guard to be a very large division or just like a 24 width division. So let me know down in the comments below what you think. But let's go ahead and end today's episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. Do hope to see you guys on the next one. And thanks for watching.